Good afternoon, everyone. This is Captain Ando. I am the Dark Star Strategist. Today, I'm going to show you a couple of things, a couple of excuse me, pardon me, I've been congested lately. A couple of 4-star ships. So, recently, I was able to unlock the Valdore. As you can see, it's out here doing some missions for me in some of the dark space areas. It's nice because it does have a very high warp range. Right now at tier 3, I'm all the way up to 125. The other one that I'm going to show here in a minute is the ISS Jellyfish, which I just unlocked from the event. So I'm going to go ahead and do that. Unlock it, do the beautiful reveal. Now, more than likely, this is going to sit at tier 1 for a while. And the reason for that is people have to know there's a lot of sticker shock when it involves these 4-star ships. Tritanium is a huge cost exorbitant item with these ships. A, to repair, and B, to upgrade. And I'm just going to show you a little bit of that here. I'm going to let this quest finish out here and show you what I mean by the high costs of upgrading and repairs. After I run through this real quick, let's see, I could use some, we'll go with crystal. Okay, anyway, so I'm going to go ahead and recall my Valdore. Actually, let's go ahead and run it into something. Blow up Mr. Richards here if we can. Probably blow up on him. And I'll show you what I mean about the costs involved. Fix my miners. Being Miner Monday, it's got to do some frequent resets, but it gets through the event fast at least. Run that real quick. Grab the mine back. Okay. So repair costs. Everyone's been asking about this. It's something, first of all, that you can mitigate fairly well. But as you can see here, we're almost 1 million dilithium and almost 25 million tritanium. So this is not something you just want to do on a whim because it's going to break you if you do that. But I'm going to go ahead and repair it because I do need the Valdore. I've been questing with it, getting a lot of rewards from those quests. And you can see the timer is not drastically different from the 3-star ships. Right now, 8 hours, 20 minutes. That's a little less than what my Enterprise runs or anything else. I'm going to swap this to the Jellyfish and give you a little bit of an introduction there. So the Jellyfish at the outset has about 3.3 million power associated with it. That's with the hostile crew. And some of the other statistics. So, gets a nice officer attack bonus, 175%. Big things you're looking at here is an explorer, so shield deflection is the strongest. It's got about 1 million shield health and hull health. Impulse speed is 105, so it's pretty fast. Warp range 60, so it's actually about the same as your uncommon 3-star faction ships. Warp speed very fast, 15.4. Cargo capacity 36k. That's not really something you worry about, but it's a decent ship. And its main ability is Imperial Might, which gives it a 15% damage bonus at the start of every combat round, and it stacks with no limits. So that's why this is a popular hostile hunter. So now, to demonstrate some of the costs involved with upgrading, I'm going to take a look at it here. So now I have enough to do some upgrades with it, and I'll probably do a little bit, but as you can see here, even on tier 1, you're burning about 50 million trit and 1 million dil per upgrade. And as you can see, there's 8 of them, and that's something that's both in common with the Valdore and the Jellyfish. So you got almost 50 million trit. Here you got 62 million trit. Here you got 15 million. Here you've got 35 million, and that's the first one I'm going to want to do because that will give me a beefed up warp range. put me on par with my other ships. And I'll go ahead and throw on the cargo bay too. And that's all I'm going to do at this point because I don't really have the uncommon gas to do the other stuff, and the trip expense is pretty high. So I'll do those couple upgrades here. Now, the Valdore, which I have in my A tab, I'm going to speed that up for us so we can take a look at its costs, is also extremely costly upgrade. You already saw the cost of repair, but now run through the cost of upgrading. I currently have it at tier 3 with the same things upgraded, but you can see 1.1 billion trit, 54 million dilithium. So as you can see here, while these are very powerful ships, they're not something that you can just upgrade very quickly, and the costs are high. So it's very handy again because I can take this out and do stuff that I couldn't do elsewhere. But it's just keep in mind, you're not going to get as much bang for the buck with these ships tier-wise until you have a very large reserve of RSS, because you just can't afford it. And with the high repair costs, you can only use it so often as well. Now I'm going to go ahead and take this out into combat just to compare its performance against my main. If I take my USS Intrepid out here, I'm going to attack. Let's go for 42. And you'll see how much damage it takes. Recall the miners, because that's what you have to do during Latinum Rush. So we take it out, and as you can see, a tier 8 Intrepid can do that, and it takes very little damage, and it's 2.7 million right now from a level 42 patrol ship when it's crewed right. So comparatively wise, we'll take a look at clear some of these milestones here for the Latinum Rush. I need all these resources I can get right now because of the costs involved with these ships. But we'll go ahead and throw that on the repair block. Gets the 10-minute chest while I'm at it. As you can see, I'm kind of big into getting all these resources. So now, tier 1, level 1 jellyfish with only an upgraded warp ability. We'll take it out. We'll seek another 42 for comparison purposes to see how it does. You'll see a lot of guys using this jelly, so it's really good to know what is the actual viability of it as a combat unit, especially at the lower tiers. So it took a little bit more damage than the Intrepid. And when we look at the repair cost for this, Nike's out doing something, I don't know what. It's not too bad right now. It's only about 77k, but that's more than I usually typically do for the Enterprise or the Intrepid, especially for that. So I would recommend, until you've tiered it up a little bit, except to level it, only do it to level the ship. And I'm going to go ahead and level the ship, at least to give it a little bit of combat viability and to show you how it fares in a combat environment. So we'll go ahead and kill some of these. Now, something to be aware of is some of your research trees do have ways to increase your efficiency. The first thing, obviously, is territory research. These require those special materials, so we have to be in territories to get these. Explorer repair costs will bring up your repair efficiency. Now, another thing that's easier to attain, and that should be accessible to everybody, is also the G4 ship repairs. Now, this requires a lot of prerequisites and a high rogue reputation. As you can see, it requires 88 million or 8.8 million rogue reputation, and I'm not there yet. While I am getting close to that, or close to a very good point. I'm definitely not at the 8.8 million yet. So that's something that I will have to wait on. I'm nearly a partner, but that's pretty much close to maxed. So it is a viable combat unit, and you want to get as many things to upgrade it as you can. But just because you have a 4-star ship doesn't necessarily mean you'll get to use the 4-star ship that much. Because as you can see here, we took out 243s. We've taken quite a bit of damage. That's okay. I'm just trying to level it right now. I do have a decent reserve of titanium I can apply towards this, but it's something that I'm not going to do much more with it than that, because as it stands, I cannot afford to run this ship the way I'd like to, the way I'd run one of my 3-star ships to do combat missions, because it just doesn't have that capability to be rebuilt easily. So now we're attacking our 4th 43. Go ahead and replace my miner. Attack another one. Go for a 5th one. See how it comes out. And we are successfully leveling it up, so that's not a problem. Go ahead and take it out towards this 42. I'm going to run it till it's level 45 and I destroy it, so you see the repair costs of a tier 1 barely upgraded jellyfish as a comparison. And as you can see, it's just under 3 million strength right now. The nice thing about this comparatively is that 105 speed. That's faster than your Enterprise. That's faster than the Valdore, which is actually pretty sluggish at 85. But other than that, and it's got a high warp speed, so it can get places quickly. But again, this is something you got to maintain and keep available. So you don't want to use it frivolously, because it's very cost intensive ship to run. And let's see here, we're level 3. A little bit more. Probably a couple more ships that can kill before it's going to be taken out. And keep in mind, it's getting stronger as we go here, because it started at level 1 and now it's level 3. It's probably going to be closer to level 4 when it's destroyed. We'll give out the helps for the event. Remember to click them one at a time, not help alls, because when you're running the event, it actually gets you there much quicker. Okay. Probably you'll take out this one and then probably be destroyed by the next one. Most likely. Yep, survived that one. Level 4, as I guessed. And it'll return to dock as a level 4 destroyed. Okay. Very cool combat animation for the jellyfish. That's one thing I do like about it. So, cost of repairs. As you can see, 1 million trit and 12.4 thousand titanium. So even at tier 1, you're going to be hitting those trit reserves pretty hard. And the repair time is actually not too bad. It's 7 hours and 10 minutes. That's something I can bring down rather quickly with my speed ups. And there you go. So that's, everyone's been asking what the repair costs are on 4-star ships. And since no one in this alliance up until this point has had one, you haven't really got to see it firsthand. So it's going to get far more extensive as the tiers grow And the more I get into the research, the more I can mitigate that. But as you can see, there's a reason these big guys don't just slap 4-star ships on people's bases at a whim unless they're really big krakens in this game, because as you can see, just the titanium costs for repairs alone, much less upgrading, is pretty gigantic. It's a very big limiting factor, and it's just something you got to deal with. So while it's fun to have these big 4-star ships and to look kind of threatening, you kind of get gun shy to actually use them because you can see why. So that's all I have for this video. I just want to give people an idea of what to expect when you get to those 4-star ships, and how to prepare for it, because nice to have, but there's some cost involved in the process. So if you have any questions, please reach out to me in game chat or Discord. This is Captain Ender One. Live long and prosper. Signing out.